The stars looked different today. Commander Veltar pressed his long fingers against the viewing window of the exploration ship Harmony's Edge. His pale blue skin reflected the soft glow of distant suns as he watched the third planet of this strange solar system slowly rotate below them. "Commander, the scans are complete," said Chief Xenobiologist Dr. Crix from behind him. The aquatic Nereon's voice bubbled slightly through his breathing apparatus. "The energy readings are definitely artificial. There is intelligent life down there." Veltar turned away from the window. His large golden eyes showed concern. In his 300 years of service to the Galactic Council, he had supervised first contact with 17 different species. Each time was dangerous. Each time could go wrong in 1,000 different ways. "What do we know about them?" Veltar asked, walking to the main display screen. Dr. Crix activated the holographic projector. Images appeared in the air between them. Bipedal creatures with strange fur only on the tops of their heads. They had small eyes, tiny teeth, and looked surprisingly fragile. "They call themselves humans," Dr. Crix said. "They have achieved basic space travel but have not left their solar system yet. They live on all the major land masses of their planet. Population approximately 8 billion individuals." Veltar studied the images carefully. The humans looked so small and weak. Their bodies had no natural armor, no claws, no fangs, no protective scales. How had such fragile creatures become the dominant species on their world? "Have they detected us?" Veltar asked. "Not yet, Commander. Our stealth systems are working perfectly. They have some primitive detection equipment, but nothing that can penetrate our shields." Veltar nodded slowly. "Good. We will observe them for several weeks before making contact. The Council's protocols are very clear about this." Dr. Crix made a note on his datapad. "Should I prepare the standard first contact package?" "Yes, but be extra careful with the cultural analysis. These humans might be more dangerous than they appear." Down on the planet's surface, Park Ranger Kim Dae-ho woke up before sunrise as he did every morning. He lived in a small cabin near Jirisan National Park in South Korea. His job was to protect the forest and the animals that lived there. Kim Dae-ho was 32 years old and had been a park ranger for 8 years. He loved his work because it meant spending every day in nature. He knew every trail in the park, every stream, every ridge. He could identify bird calls, animal tracks, and which plants were safe to eat. As he drank his morning coffee, Kim Dae-ho noticed something strange. The birds outside his window were singing differently. Their calls sounded nervous, almost frightened. In 8 years of ranger work, he had learned to pay attention when animals acted unusual. He put on his uniform and equipment belt, then stepped outside. The morning air felt electric, like the moments before a thunderstorm. But the sky was clear, with only a few white clouds. Kim Dae-ho walked to his truck and started his daily patrol. As he drove along the mountain roads, he noticed more strange things. The deer that usually grazed near the road were nowhere to be seen. Even the insects seemed quieter than normal. He stopped at his first checkpoint and took out his radio equipment. The electromagnetic readings were much higher than normal. Kim Dae-ho frowned. These readings usually meant solar flare activity, but the Weather Service had not reported any solar storms. 300 kilometers above him, Dr. Crix was recording everything Kim Dae-ho did. "Fascinating," Dr. Crix said to his research team. "This human shows remarkable environmental awareness. Look how he notices the subtle changes in animal behavior." The alien scientists watched as Kim Dae-ho continued his patrol. He stopped frequently to check on different areas of the forest. He examined animal tracks, tested water quality in streams, and made detailed notes about everything he observed. "He moves through this environment like he owns it," said Dr. Thymol, one of Dr. Crix's assistants. "But look at his physical specifications. No claws, no natural weapons, no armor. How does such a weak creature survive in this wilderness?" Dr. Crix studied the biological scans more carefully. Perhaps they compensate for physical weakness with superior intelligence and technology. Meanwhile, at Sungsil University in Seoul, Dr. Park Soo-jin was having a very frustrating morning. The electromagnetic readings from her research station were completely wrong. For the past 3 days, her equipment had been detecting energy patterns that made no scientific sense. Dr. Park Soo-jin was a xenobiologist, which meant she studied the possibility of life on other planets. She had spent 10 years researching what alien life might look like and how humans might detect it. She never expected to find evidence in her own backyard. "Dr. Lee, please look at these readings again," she said to her colleague, Dr. Lee Tae-min. Dr. Lee Tae-min adjusted his glasses and studied the computer screen. "Soo-jin, I have told you 3 times already. These are just solar flare effects, nothing more." "But look at the patterns," Dr. Park Soo-jin insisted. "Solar flares are random. These energy readings have structure, almost like a signal." Dr. Lee Tae-min shook his head. "You have been studying alien life for so long that you are starting to see aliens everywhere. These readings are perfectly normal." But Dr. Park Soo-jin was not convinced. She had studied electromagnetic patterns for years. She knew the difference between natural phenomena and artificial signals. These readings were definitely artificial. That afternoon, she decided to call her former professor, Dr. Nam Hyo-jung, who worked at the Korean Space Research Institute. If anyone would take her seriously, it would be Dr. Nam high above Earth. Commander Veltar was reading the daily reports from his observation teams. The humans were more interesting than he had expected. They seemed to live in harmony with their planet's ecosystem, but they also had advanced technology and complex social structures. "Commander," Dr. Crix said, entering the bridge, "we have detected some unusual human activity. One of their scientists appears to be investigating our electromagnetic signature." Veltar's golden eyes widened. "They have detected us?" "Not exactly. But this Dr. Park Soo-jin has noticed the energy patterns our ship creates. She does not know what they are, but she knows they are artificial. Is this a problem?" "Probably not yet. Her colleagues do not believe her findings. But if she continues investigating, she might eventually determine our location." Veltar thought about this carefully. The Galactic Council's first contact protocols were designed to prevent exactly this kind of situation. They were supposed to study new species, secretly for months before revealing themselves. "Double our stealth measures," Veltar ordered, "and increase surveillance on this Dr. Park Soo-jin. I want to know everything she does." As the alien ship adjusted its position and strengthened its shields, Kim Dae-ho was finishing his patrol for the day. The animal still seemed nervous, and his equipment still showed unusual electromagnetic readings, but he had found no obvious explanation for either problem. He parked his truck at the ranger station and made his daily report. Under unusual observations, he wrote, "Wildlife behavior abnormal. EM readings elevated. No apparent cause. Will monitor tomorrow." Kim Dae-ho had no way of knowing that his simple daily report was being read by creatures from another star system. He also had no way of knowing that his calm competence in the wilderness was creating a very specific impression among those alien observers. To the aliens watching from space, Kim Dae-ho appeared to be a creature perfectly adapted to survive in dangerous territory. He moved confidently through an environment filled with predators and hazards. He showed no fear, no hesitation, no doubt about his ability to handle whatever challenges the wilderness might present. The aliens did not understand that Kim Dae-ho's confidence came from knowledge, training, and respect for nature. They saw only the end result, a seemingly weak creature that dominated its environment through unknown means. As the sun set over Jirisan National Park, both species continued their observations of each other. Neither group realized how completely they were misunderstanding what they were seeing. The stage was set for the greatest misunderstanding in galactic history. 3 days had passed since the alien ship Harmony's Edge began observing Earth. Commander Veltar stood in the observation deck, watching the morning sun rise over the Korean peninsula. His scientific team had been working around the clock to understand these strange creatures called humans. "Commander," Dr. Crix called from his workstation, "the human we have been monitoring is beginning his patrol again. Today, he has companions with him." Veltar moved to the main viewing screen. The image showed Kim Dae-ho standing beside his truck, talking with two other humans. One was a female with long black hair tied in a ponytail. The other was a male carrying what appeared to be scientific equipment. "Who are these additional humans?" Veltar asked. Dr. Crix consulted his data files. "The female is Dr. Choi Min-ah, a botanist from Seoul National University. The male is Yoon Jae-sung, a wildlife specialist. They are here to study plant and animal behavior in the forest." Veltar nodded. "Continue monitoring. Record everything." On Earth, Kim Dae-ho was explaining the day's route to his two companions. Dr. Choi Min-ah had requested access to the deeper parts of the forest where rare plants grew. Yoon Jae-sung wanted to check on several animal populations that had been acting strangely over the past few days. "The electromagnetic readings are still abnormal," Kim Dae-ho said, showing them his equipment. "I cannot explain what is causing them, but the animals are definitely responding to something." Dr. Choi Min-ah adjusted her backpack full of plant collection supplies. "Maybe the unusual energy is affecting their nervous systems somehow." "That is possible," Yoon Jae-sung agreed. "I have seen similar behavior during solar storms, but the Weather Service reports no solar activity." The three humans began walking along a narrow trail that led deeper into the mountain forest. Kim Dae-ho led the way, followed by Dr. Choi Min-ah, with Yoon Jae-sung bringing up the rear. Above them, the alien observation team focused their sensors on the small group. Dr. Crix was particularly interested in how these fragile-looking creatures would handle the dangers of their planet's wilderness. "Look at them," Dr. Temel said. "They are walking directly into territory inhabited by large predators. Their confidence is remarkable." "Or foolish," replied Dr. Crix. "We shall see which it is." The humans walked for 2 hours through dense forest. Kim Dae-ho stopped frequently to point out interesting features to his companions. He showed Dr. Choi Min-ah rare orchids growing on tree trunks. He showed Yoon Jae-sung fresh tracks from various forest animals. "The deer tracks are very recent," Kim Dae-ho observed, kneeling beside a muddy patch of trail. "But look how deep they are pressed into the ground. These animals were running, not walking." Yoon Jae-sung examined the tracks more closely. "Running from what?" "That is what we need to find out," Kim Dae-ho replied, standing up and brushing dirt from his hands. They continued walking deeper into the forest. The trees grew taller and thicker here, blocking most of the sunlight. The air felt cooler and more humid. Dr. Choi Min-ah stopped frequently to collect plant samples and take photographs. Aboard the alien ship, Dr. Crix was amazed by what he was seeing. "Commander, these humans show no fear at all. They are deep in predator territory, yet they act as if they are completely safe. Perhaps they have eliminated all the dangerous creatures from their planet," Veltar suggested. "Negative, Commander. Our biological scans show numerous large predators in this area. There are creatures here that could easily kill these humans." "Then, why are they not afraid?" Before Dr. Crix could answer, alarms began sounding throughout the alien ship. Every sensor focused on the forest below was screaming warnings about a massive life form approaching the human party. "Commander!" Dr. Thymel shouted. "Enormous predator approaching the humans. Mass approximately 200 kilograms. Classification: Apex Predator." On the viewing screen, they could see it emerging from the thick underbrush. An Asiatic black bear, one of the largest predators in the Korean forests. Its powerful muscles rippled under its thick black fur as it moved through the trees. Its claws were as long as human fingers and sharp enough to tear through metal. Its teeth were designed for crushing bones. The bear was moving directly toward the three humans. "This is it," Dr. Crix whispered. "Now we will see what these humans are really capable of." On the forest trail, Kim Dae-ho suddenly stopped walking. He held up his hand, signaling for his companions to freeze. He had heard something moving in the bushes ahead of them. Dr. Choi Min-ah was examining a rare fern when she noticed Kim Dae-ho's posture. She immediately became still and alert. Yoon Jae-sung also stopped moving and listened carefully. The sounds were getting louder. Heavy footsteps, branches breaking. Something large was approaching through the dense vegetation. Then they saw it. The bear emerged from behind a massive oak tree less than 20 meters away from them. It was enormous, much larger than any bear Kim Dae-ho had ever encountered in the forest. When it stood up on its hind legs to get a better look at them, it was nearly 2 meters tall. The alien observers held their breath, waiting to see how these small, weak humans would respond to such a terrifying threat. Kim Dae-ho's response was not what they expected. He slowly raised both hands above his head, palms facing forward. His movements were calm and deliberate. He did not reach for any weapons. He did not run. He did not even step backward. "Easy there, friend," Kim Dae-ho said in a quiet, steady voice. "We are not here to bother you." Behind him, Dr. Choi Min-ah slowly reached into her backpack. But instead of pulling out a weapon, she carefully removed a small emergency flare. She did not light it or point it at the bear. She simply held it ready, just in case they needed to create noise and light to encourage the bear to leave. Yoon Jae-sung took one careful step to his left, positioning himself slightly between the bear and Dr. Choi Min-ah. His movement was slow and non-threatening, but it showed he was ready to protect his colleague if necessary. The bear looked at them for what felt like an eternity. Its small, dark eyes studied each human carefully. Its massive head moved from side to side as it tried to understand what these strange creatures were doing in its territory. Kim Dae-ho continued talking to the bear in the same calm, respectful tone. "You are beautiful and powerful. We respect that. We do not want to fight you. There is room in this forest for all of us." The bear sniffed the air several times, testing for scents that might indicate danger or aggression. It found none. These humans smelled of plants, soil, and equipment, but not of fear or hostility. After several long minutes, the bear slowly lowered itself back down to all four legs. It looked at the humans one more time, as if memorizing their faces. Then, it simply turned around and walked back into the forest, disappearing as quietly as it had appeared. The three humans remained perfectly still for several more minutes, waiting to make sure the bear was truly gone. Only when they could no longer hear any sounds of large movement did they begin to relax. "That was incredible," Dr. Choi Min-ah whispered, carefully putting her emergency flare back into her backpack. "He was just curious about us," Yoon Jae-sung said quietly. Bears usually avoid humans, but something made him want to investigate. Kim Dae-ho nodded, lowering his hands slowly. "Probably the same thing that has been making all the animals nervous. Whatever is causing those electromagnetic readings." Above them, the alien observation team sat in complete stunned silence. They had just witnessed something that challenged everything they thought they knew about predator-prey relationships. Dr. Crix was the first to speak. "Commander, did you see what just happened?" "I saw it, but I do not understand it." Veltar replied. "That creature could have killed all three humans easily. Why did it retreat?" "The humans dominated it somehow," Dr. Timal said, his voice filled with awe. "They used some kind of psychological warfare we have never encountered before." Dr. Crix began frantically typing notes into his computer. The humans showed no fear. They positioned themselves strategically. The lead human used vocalizations to communicate with the predator. Somehow they convinced it to retreat without using any visible weapons. Commander Veltar stared at the viewing screen where the three humans were now continuing their walk through the forest as if nothing unusual had happened. Dr. Crix, I want a complete analysis of what we just witnessed. These humans are far more dangerous than we initially believed. The emergency meeting aboard the Harmony's Edge lasted for 6 hours. Every senior officer and scientist on the ship attended. The main conference room buzzed with excited conversation as species from across the galaxy tried to understand what they had witnessed in the Korean forest. Commander Veltar stood at the head of the long table, his golden eyes serious. Dr. Crix, please present your preliminary findings to the group. Dr. Crix activated the holographic projector in the center of the table. Images of the bear encounter played in 3 dimensions, showing every detail of the confrontation between the humans and the massive predator. As you can see, Dr. Crix began, the humans demonstrated abilities we have never encountered in any species. When faced with a creature that outweighed them by a factor of 3 and possessed natural weapons capable of killing them instantly, they did not flee. The assembled officers watched the recording with fascination. They saw Kim Dae-ho raise his hands slowly and speak to the bear in calm tones. They saw Dr. Choi Min-ah prepare her equipment without panic. They saw Yoon Jae-sung position himself protectively without showing fear. Notice the strategic positioning, Dr. Crix continued. The lead human places himself in the most exposed position while communicating with the predator. The female prepares what appears to be a distraction device. The male moves to shield the female. This is coordinated pack behavior at its most sophisticated. Dr. Thaimal added his own analysis. The vocalizations the lead human made seem to have had a direct effect on the predator's behavior. We recorded subsonic frequencies in his voice that may have triggered some kind of submission response in the creature. Commander Veltar studied the data carefully. What is your conclusion, Dr. Crix? Sir, I believe we are dealing with a species that has evolved beyond normal predator-prey relationships. They have developed psychological dominance techniques that allow them to control apex predators through mental manipulation alone. A collective gasp went around the room. Such abilities were theoretical in galactic science, but no known species had ever developed them to this degree. I recommend we classify humans as apex predator specialists, Dr. Crix continued. They appear to have achieved dominance over their entire planet through superior psychological warfare capabilities. Dr. Thaimal pulled up additional data files. Our observations support this theory. We have recorded dozens of instances where humans enter territories populated by dangerous creatures, yet casualty rates remain extremely low. They seem to have established some kind of understanding with their planet's predator species. Commander Veltar made notes on his datapad. Prepare a full report for the Galactic Council. Mark it as Priority Alpha. They need to know about this immediately. While the aliens debated humanity's classification in space, Dr. Park Soo-jin was having breakthrough moments in her laboratory at Sungsil University. For 3 days, she had been analyzing the electromagnetic patterns her equipment detected. Today, she finally found the proof she needed. Dr. Lee, please look at this, she called to her colleague. I have isolated the signal from the background. Radiation! Dr. Lee Tae-min walked over to her computer reluctantly. He had grown tired of Dr. Park Soo-jin's insistence that the energy readings were artificial, but as her senior colleague, he felt obligated to look at her work. See this pattern? Dr. Park Soo-jin pointed to a complex waveform on her screen. It repeats every 4.7 seconds. Natural electromagnetic phenomena do not have such precise timing. Dr. Lee Tae-min adjusted his glasses and studied the data more carefully. For the first time, he began to see what Dr. Park Soo-jin was talking about. The pattern was too regular, too organized to be natural. This is interesting, he admitted. But what could be causing it? I have been thinking about that for days, Dr. Park Soo-jin replied. The signal is coming from approximately 300 kilometers above our location. It is too high to be aircraft, too low to be satellites. The energy signature does not match any human technology I know about. Dr. Lee Tae-min felt a chill run down his spine. Soo-jin, are you suggesting what I think you are suggesting? I am not suggesting anything yet. I am simply reporting what the data shows. But yes, this could be evidence of non-human intelligence. Dr. Lee Tae-min sat down heavily in a nearby chair. If Dr. Park Soo-jin was correct, they were looking at the greatest discovery in human history, and it was happening right above their heads. We need to contact Dr. Nam Hyo-jung at the Space Research Institute immediately, he said. Dr. Park Soo-jin nodded and reached for her phone. I tried calling her yesterday, but her assistant said she was in meetings. This time, I am going to insist that she speak with me. Meanwhile, in a different part of Seoul, wildlife photographer Bang Seok-jin was having the best week of his professional career. The electromagnetic disturbances that had been puzzling scientists were apparently causing unusual animal behavior throughout the region. Bang Seok-jin specialized in photographing dangerous wildlife in their natural habitats. His work required patience, skill, and a deep understanding of animal behavior. Today, he was tracking the same bear that had encountered Kim Dae-ho's research team 3 days earlier. The bear had been tagged as part of a conservation program, making it easier for researchers to monitor its movements. Bang Seok-jin had been following its trail for hours, hoping to get close enough for some spectacular photographs. What Bang Seok-jin did not know was that every movement he made was being recorded by alien observers who interpreted his casual approach to dangerous wildlife as further evidence of humanity's predatory dominance. High above, Dr. Crix watched Bang Seok-jin set up his camera equipment less than 50 meters from the massive bear. Commander, we have another human exhibiting the same behavior patterns. This one appears to be documenting the predator for some unknown purpose. Commander Veltar joined Dr. Crix at the observation station. How close is he to the creature? Approximately 47 meters, sir. Well within the predator's attack range. They watched as Bang Seok-jin adjusted his telephoto lens and began taking photographs. The bear was aware of his presence but showed no signs of aggression. It continued foraging for food while the human documented its behavior. Remarkable, Commander Veltar said. This human is even closer to the predator than the research team was. Yet the creature shows no hostility. It appears that humans have established some kind of treaty with their planet's apex predators, Dr. Crix observed. The predators tolerate human presence in exchange for what we do not know yet. Dr. Thymel joined the conversation. Perhaps the humans provide food or protection in return for non-aggression pacts. It would be a sophisticated form of interspecies diplomacy. Back on Earth, Dr. Park Soo-jin finally reached Dr. Nam Hyo-jung at the Korean Space Research Institute. After 20 minutes of explaining her findings, she had convinced the senior scientist to examine her data personally. I will be at your laboratory within 2 hours, Dr. Nam Hyo-jung promised. If your analysis is correct, we need to notify the government immediately. Dr. Park Soo-jin felt a mixture of excitement and fear. She had spent her entire career searching for evidence of extraterrestrial life. Now that she might have found it, the implications were overwhelming. Dr. Lee Tae-min was already making phone calls to colleagues around the world. The electromagnetic signature Dr. Park Soo-jin had discovered needed to be verified by multiple independent sources. I have contacted Dr. Jang Wei in Beijing and Dr. Sarah Richardson in London, he told Dr. Park Soo-jin. They are both setting up their equipment to scan for similar signals. Meanwhile, Bang Seok-jin had finished his photography session and was hiking back to his vehicle. He had captured some of the best wildlife photographs of his career. The bear had been remarkably cooperative, almost as if it understood that he meant no harm. What Bang Seok-jin did not realize was that his peaceful interaction with one of Korea's most dangerous predators had just provided the Galactic Council with definitive proof of humanity's classification as apex predator specialists. As the alien ship prepared to transmit Dr. Crix's report across the galaxy, the first human, scientists were beginning to suspect they were not alone in the universe. The stage was set for a series of misunderstandings that would soon involve species from across known space. Half the galaxy was about to learn about a new race of psychological predator dominators, while the other half prepared to defend themselves against humanity's apparent threat. And on Earth, a small group of scientists worked frantically to understand signals from space, completely unaware that those same signals were carrying reports that described humans as the galaxy's newest apex predators. The greatest misunderstanding in galactic history was about to reach the highest levels of interstellar government. The Galactic Council chambers had not seen such excitement in over 2 centuries. Representatives from 47 different species filled the massive circular hall, their various forms of communication creating a symphony of sounds that the universal translators struggled to process. At the center of the hall, the Council's highest authority, Prime Minister Zeth-Ara of the ancient Valdoran species, called for order. Her crystalline form glowed brightly as she accessed the priority communication from Commander Veltar's exploration ship. "Honored representatives," Prime Minister Zeth-Ara announced, her voice resonating through every translator in the hall. "We have received a priority Alpha First Contact report from the Sol system. The findings are unprecedented." A holographic display materialized above the chamber, showing Dr. Crix's complete analysis of human behavior. The bear encounter played repeatedly as delegates watched with growing amazement. Senator Thrakor of the militant Corvin Empire leaned forward in his reinforced seat. His scaled hide gleamed under the chamber lights as he studied the human's interaction with the massive predator. "Show me that sequence again," he demanded. The hologram replayed the moment when Kim Dae-ho faced the bear. To the assembled aliens, it looked like the human was issuing some kind of challenge or command to the creature. When the bear retreated, they interpreted it as submission to superior predatory authority. "Incredible," whispered Ambassador Lith-Ana of the peaceful Zelani Confederation. "They dominated that apex predator through psychological means alone." Dr. Thaisara, the Council's chief xenoanthropologist, stood to address the chamber. Her Vorthak, crystalline body reflected rainbow colors as she spoke. "Honored colleagues, I have spent the last 6 hours analyzing every piece of data from the Sol system. These humans represent something we have never encountered before." She activated her own presentation, showing dozens of recordings of humans interacting with dangerous wildlife from around their planet. The aliens watched safari guides in Africa walking near lions, marine biologists swimming with sharks, and mountain climbers coexisting with bears. "In every case," Dr. Thaisara explained, "these humans enter territories dominated by apex predators, yet they suffer remarkably few casualties. They appear to have established some form of psychological dominance over their entire planet's ecosystem." General Korvax of the Corvin military stood up abruptly. "Prime Minister, I request permission to dispatch a recruitment fleet to the Sol system immediately. These humans would make perfect additions to our warrior caste." "Absolutely not," shouted Ambassador Lith-Ana. "If these reports are accurate, these humans are far too dangerous to approach with military vessels. They could interpret it as a threat." "Exactly my point," General Korvax replied. "A species that can psychologically dominate apex predators would be invaluable allies in our ongoing conflicts with the hegemony." Prime Minister Zeth-Ara raised her hand for silence. "We will not make any hasty decisions. Dr. Thaisara, what is your professional recommendation for first contact protocols?" "Prime Minister, I recommend extended observation before any contact attempt. We need to understand how their psychological dominance abilities might affect other sapient species." On the far side of the chamber, Defense Coordinator Velthok of the Harani Collective was having very different thoughts. The Harani had survived for millennia by being extremely cautious about potential threats. To them, A species that could control apex predators through mental manipulation represented the greatest danger their civilization had ever faced. Prime Minister Velthok said, "I must formally request that the collective be allowed to begin defensive preparations immediately. If these humans can control the minds of dangerous predators, what might they do to sapient species?" A wave of concerned murmurs swept through the chamber. Several species had histories of being conquered by others, and the idea of mental domination struck terror into their hearts. Dr. Thaisara tried to calm the fears. There is no evidence that humans can affect sapient minds. Their abilities seem limited to non-sapient predator species. "That we know of," Velthok replied grimly. "But can we afford to take that risk?" While the Galactic Council debated humanity's threat level, Dr. Park Soo-jin was experiencing the most important day of her scientific career. Dr. Nam Hyo-jung had arrived at Sung-sil University with a team of specialists and sophisticated detection equipment. "Dr. Park, your initial analysis was correct," Dr. Nam Hyo-jung announced after 3 hours of intensive study. "This signal is definitely artificial and definitely not of human origin." Dr. Park Soo-jin felt her knees go weak. After years of theoretical research, she was looking at proof of extraterrestrial intelligence. "What should we do now?" "We follow protocol," Dr. Nam Hyo-jung replied. "I have already contacted the Ministry of Defense and the President's Science Advisory Committee. Within 6 hours, this will become a matter of national security." Dr. Lee Tae-min looked up from his computer terminal. "The international verification requests are coming back positive. Dr. Zhang Wei in Beijing and Dr. Richardson in London have both detected similar signals from their locations." "That confirms it," Dr. Nam Hyo-jung said. "Whatever is generating, this signal is large enough and powerful enough to be detected from multiple points on Earth's surface. We are definitely dealing with an artificial construct in high orbit." In another part of Seoul, journalist Kang Yu-na was investigating reports of unusual animal behavior throughout South Korea. Her editor had assigned her to write a feature story about the electromagnetic disturbances, but Kang Yu-na suspected there was more to the story than anyone realized. She had interviewed Kim Dae-ho about his experiences in Jirisan National Park, and his description of the animal's nervous behavior matched reports from wildlife officials across the country. Something was definitely affecting the local ecosystem. "Mr. Kim," Kang Yu-na asked during their interview, "in your professional opinion, what could cause such widespread changes in animal behavior?" Kim Dae-ho thought carefully before answering. "In my 8 years as a park ranger, I have never seen anything like this. The electromagnetic readings are unlike anything in my experience. If I had to guess, I would say we are dealing with some kind of artificial interference." "Artificial? You mean human-made?" "Not necessarily," Kim Dae-ho replied. "The energy signature does not match any human technology I know about." Kang Yu-na felt her journalistic instincts tingling. This story was becoming much bigger than anyone realized. Back at the Ministry of Defense, Colonel Shin Woo-seok was coordinating South Korea's response to the discovery. He had been briefed on Dr. Park Soo-jin's findings and was now working with international partners to develop a unified approach. "Colonel," his aide reported, "the Americans, Chinese, and Russians have all confirmed the signal. NASA is repositioning satellites to get better readings." "Good," Colonel Shin Woo-seok replied. "Make sure our Space Research Institute gets full access to any data they collect. If this is first contact, South Korea needs to be at the center of the response." High above Earth, Commander Veltar was receiving updates from the Galactic Council. Debate. The response to Dr. Cricks's report had been more dramatic than he expected. "Commander," Dr. Cricks reported, "the Council has officially classified humans as a potentially dangerous species. 3 different military organizations have requested permission to approach Earth, while 2 defensive alliances have begun preparing countermeasures." Countermeasures against what? against the possibility that humans might use their psychological dominance abilities against sapient species, sir. Commander Veltar studied the latest observations of human behavior. Bang Seok-jin had published his wildlife photographs online showing his close encounters with dangerous animals. To alien observers, this looked like a human casually demonstrating dominance over apex predators for recreational purposes. Dr. Crix, are we certain about our analysis of human abilities? The evidence seems conclusive, Commander. They consistently enter apex predator territory without fear, and the predators consistently avoid confrontation with them. This suggests either superior predatory abilities or sophisticated psychological manipulation techniques. But they appear so physically weak, Commander Veltar observed. That may be part of their strategy, sir. By appearing harmless, they can get close to potential threats before deploying their psychological dominance abilities. Dr. Thymol added his own observations. Commander, we have also detected increased human scientific activity. Several of their research facilities have begun intensive scanning of our approximate orbital position. They have detected us? Not specifically, but they have definitely detected our electromagnetic signature. One of their scientists, Dr. Park Soo-jin, has published preliminary findings suggesting artificial origin for the energy patterns. Commander Veltar realized that first contact was becoming inevitable. The humans were close to pinpointing their location, and the Galactic Council was preparing for various forms of intervention. Dr. Crix, begin preparing first contact protocols, but make them extremely cautious ones. If these humans can psychologically dominate apex predators, we need to be very careful about how we approach them. As the day ended, both humans and aliens were preparing for contact, but neither side understood the true nature of the other. The aliens saw humans as dangerous predator dominators, while humans had no idea that their casual coexistence with wildlife had created one of the greatest misunderstandings in galactic history. The next few days would determine whether first contact resulted in friendship, fear, or conflict between species that completely misunderstood each other's true nature. Dr. Thisara had not slept for 3 days. Her crystalline body flickered with exhaustion as she worked in her laboratory aboard the Harmony's Edge. Something was wrong with their analysis of human behavior, and she was determined to find the truth. The breakthrough came at 0347 hours ship time. Dr. Thisara had been running Kim Dae-ho's voice recordings through her most advanced translation protocols when suddenly the meaning became clear. What she discovered made her entire crystalline form flash bright red with alarm. Computer, replay human vocalization sequence, bear encounter, timestamp 143722, she commanded for the 100th time. This time, her improved translation software captured the true meaning of Kim Dae-ho's words to the massive bear. Easy there, beautiful friend. I mean you no harm. There is room in this forest for both of us. Dr. Thisara stared at the translation in shock. The human had not been commanding the bear or threatening it. He had been showing respect and asking for peaceful coexistence. Computer, analyze all recorded human speech during predator encounters. Emergency priority. For the next 4 hours, Dr. Thisara watched her computer process every piece of audio they had collected. Wildlife photographers speaking gently to lions, marine biologists explaining shark behavior to students, park rangers teaching visitors about respecting dangerous animals. The pattern was undeniable. Humans did not dominate apex predators through psychological warfare. They coexisted with dangerous animals through knowledge, respect, and careful behavior. Dr. Thisara realized with growing horror that the Galactic Council had been given completely false information about humanity. Everything they believed about human predator domination abilities was based on translation errors. She activated her emergency communication system. Commander Veltar, report to Xenobiology Laboratory immediately. Category Alpha Emergency. Commander Veltar arrived within 3 minutes, his golden eyes wide with concern. "Dr. Thaisara, what has happened?" "Commander, we have made a catastrophic error," she said, her crystalline form cycling through rapid color changes that indicated extreme distress. "Humans are not apex predator specialists. They do not possess psychological dominance abilities." She showed Commander Veltar the corrected translations of human speech during wildlife encounters. His tall frame seemed to shrink as he read the actual meanings behind human words. "These translations show respect, not dominance," Commander Veltar said quietly. "Are you absolutely certain they are accurate?" "Completely certain, sir. I have verified every sequence multiple times using 3 different translation protocols. Humans achieve harmony with apex predators through wisdom and empathy, not through mental manipulation." Commander Veltar sat down heavily. "Dr. Thaisara, if your analysis is correct, then we have told the entire Galactic Council that humans are dangerous mental dominators when they are actually a peaceful species." "That is exactly what we have done, sir," Dr. Thaisara replied, "and I fear the consequences are already in motion." She was correct. Across the galaxy, the political and military machinery of dozens of species had already begun responding to the reports about humanity's supposed predator domination abilities. On the military fortress world of Corvin Prime, General Korvax stood before a massive holographic display showing the route to Earth. Behind him, 12 enormous battleships prepared for departure. "These humans represent the greatest military opportunity in Corvin history," General Korvax announced to his assembled fleet commanders. "Any species that can psychologically dominate apex predators will revolutionize our combat capabilities." Admiral Thekron, commander of the flagship Blade of Victory, studied the tactical data. "General, our intelligence reports suggest humans achieved planetary dominance through superior predatory instincts. They will make excellent additions to our warrior caste." "Precisely," General Korvax replied. "We will offer them partnership in our military campaigns. Together, we will crush the hegemony and expand Corvin territory throughout the galaxy." The massive fleet began its journey toward Earth, carrying weapons, recruitment materials, and the expectation that they would find a race of natural-born warriors eager to join their cause. Meanwhile, in the peaceful crystal cities of the Hurani Collective, a very different response was taking shape. Defense Coordinator Velthok paced nervously in the Collective's emergency command center. "The threat these humans represent cannot be overstated," Velthok explained to the assembled council members. "Mental domination abilities that work on apex predators could easily be turned against sapient species." Sub-Coordinator Nethali expressed the fears of many council members. "If they can control predator minds, what stops them from controlling our minds?" "Nothing," Velthok replied grimly. "Which is why we must implement maximum defensive protocols immediately." The Hurani Collective had survived for thousands of years by being extremely cautious about potential threats. The idea of a species that could manipulate minds through psychological techniques terrified them more than conventional weapons ever could. "All colonial shield generators are to be upgraded to maximum power," Velthok ordered. "Deep space monitoring. Stations will scan continuously for any signs of human expansion beyond their home system." "What if they attempt direct contact with us?" asked another council member. "We maintain defensive positions and refuse all communication until we fully understand the extent of their mental manipulation capabilities," Velthok declared. On Earth, human scientists remained completely unaware that their planet had become the center of galactic military attention. Dr. Park Soo-jin and her research team were focused entirely on the peaceful aspects of establishing first contact. Dr. Park Soo-jin had been working 18-hour days since being appointed to lead South Korea's alien contact research team. Her laboratory at Sungsil University had become the unofficial headquarters for humanity's first contact efforts. The mathematical sequences in the alien transmissions are becoming increasingly sophisticated, reported graduate student Lim Do-young. They started with prime numbers, moved to geometric progressions, and now they are sending what appears to be basic physics equations. Dr. Nam Hyo-jung studied the latest data from her workstation. They are testing our scientific understanding systematically. This suggests they want to establish a foundation for complex communication. Begin preparing our response, Dr. Park, Su-jin instructed. Send back the next logical progression in their mathematical sequence. Include basic chemical formulas to demonstrate our understanding of atomic structure. Dr. Lee Tae-min, who had initially been skeptical of the alien signals, was now one of the most enthusiastic team members. I have contacted colleagues in 12 countries. Everyone is detecting the same signal patterns. This is definitely extraterrestrial intelligence. Journalist Kang Yu-na had been covering the story since the beginning, helping to prepare the public for the possibility of first contact. Her articles emphasized the scientific importance and international cooperation rather than potential dangers. The world watches as our greatest minds work to establish communication with an alien intelligence, she wrote. This moment represents humanity's greatest opportunity to prove we are ready to join a larger galactic community. Colonel Shin Woo-seok coordinated the security aspects of the first contact preparations. His role focused on protecting the research team and ensuring their work could continue without interference. We are not preparing for conflict, Colonel Shin Woo-seok reminded his international counterparts during their daily briefing. Our mission is to provide security for the scientists and facilitate peaceful communication. Back aboard the Harmony's Edge, Commander Veltar was learning how difficult it could be to correct a galactic misunderstanding. The same communication networks that had efficiently spread news of humanity's supposed threat were much slower at processing corrections. Commander, Dr. Crix reported from the communication station, I have been attempting to reach Prime Minister Zethara for 8 hours. Her staff says she is in emergency sessions with military advisors and cannot be interrupted. Keep trying, Commander Veltar ordered. We must reach the Council before the military fleets arrive at Earth. Dr. Thaisa Ara was compiling additional evidence that completely contradicted their original assessment of humanity. Commander, look at these new recordings I have analyzed. Humans dedicate enormous resources to protecting other species, including dangerous ones. She showed him holographic displays of human wildlife conservation programs, animal rescue operations, and environmental protection efforts. They have organizations dedicated to saving endangered predators. They relocate dangerous animals rather than killing them. They even provide medical care to injured apex predators. Commander Veltar studied the data with growing amazement. Dr. Thisara, these humans may be one of the most compassionate species we have ever encountered. That is my conclusion as well, sir. They achieved dominance over their planet through intelligence, cooperation, and respect for all life forms. Then we must warn them about what is approaching, Commander Veltar decided. The Corvin fleet expects to find warriors. The Hurani Collective is preparing defenses against mind controllers. Both groups completely misunderstand what humans actually represent. Dr. Crix looked up from his instruments. Commander, the humans have definitely located our approximate orbital position. Their scanning activities have increased dramatically. Excellent, Commander Veltar replied. Dr. Thaisara, prepare for immediate first contact. We must establish direct communication before the other fleets arrive. As both species prepared for their first direct communication, neither side understood how their misunderstandings had already set galactic politics in motion. War fleets approached Earth expecting one thing, while defensive alliances prepared for another. And on Earth, humanity prepared for first contact with the same peaceful curiosity that had always defined their greatest achievements. The morning sun cast long shadows across Jirisan National Park as Commander Veltar's diplomatic shuttle descended through Earth's atmosphere. After weeks of mathematical communication and basic language exchange, both species had agreed to meet. at the location where the great misunderstanding had begun. Kim Dae-ho stood in the same forest clearing where he had encountered the bear, but today he wore a formal Park Service uniform instead of his usual field gear. Beside him, Dr. Park Soo-jin checked her translation equipment one final time. The entire world was watching this moment through cameras and communication links. "Are you nervous?" Dr. Park Soo-jin asked Kim Dae-ho quietly. "A little," he admitted, "but mostly excited. This is the most important day in human history." Dr. Nam Hyo-jung monitored the shuttle's approach from her mobile command center. "Landing sequence looks perfect," she reported to Colonel Shin Woo-seok. "The alien vessel is touching down exactly on target." The shuttle was smaller than anyone had expected, designed more for diplomacy than intimidation. As it settled onto the forest floor with barely a sound, Kim Dae-ho was reminded of the quiet way forest animals moved when they wanted to avoid disturbing their environment. The shuttle door opened with a soft hiss, and Commander Veltar emerged first. His tall, slender frame and pale blue skin made him look almost ethereal in the dappled sunlight. His large golden eyes showed curiosity rather than fear as he looked around the forest. Dr. Crix followed, his aquatic breathing apparatus making soft bubbling sounds. Behind him came Dr. Thisara, her crystalline form reflecting rainbow patterns that danced across the trees. For several long moments, both groups simply looked at each other. Humans and aliens, meeting face to face for the first time in Earth's history. Kim Dae-ho stepped forward and did something completely natural for him. He smiled and raised his hand in greeting. "Welcome to Earth," he said in carefully practiced universal language. "We are honored to meet you." Commander Veltar had prepared for many possible human behaviors based on their supposed predator-dominator abilities. He had not prepared for simple, genuine friendship. "The honor is ours," Commander Veltar replied through his translator. "We have traveled far to meet the people of Earth." Dr. Park Soo-jin stepped forward next, carrying a small device. "We have prepared a universal translator based on your communication patterns. We hope it will help us understand each other better." Dr. Thisara's crystalline body flashed with pleased colors. "Your technological adaptation is impressive. We also brought improved translation equipment." As the two groups exchanged greetings and technical equipment, Dr. Crix was frantically sending messages to the approaching Corvan fleet. The humans showed none of the predatory behaviors his original reports had described. "General Korvax, this is Dr. Crix aboard the Harmony's Edge. I need to update you on human behavioral analysis. They are not what we initially reported." The response came back immediately. "Dr. Crix, our fleet is 6 hours from Earth orbit. Explain these behavioral changes." "Sir, humans are not apex predator specialists. They coexist with dangerous animals through intelligence and empathy, not dominance. I recommend changing your approach from recruitment to standard diplomatic contact." There was a long pause before General Korvax replied. "Dr. Crix, our intelligence reports clearly show humans psychologically dominating apex predators. Are you certain of this new analysis?" "Completely certain, sir. We misunderstood their behavior patterns. Meanwhile, the first contact meeting was proceeding better than anyone had hoped. Commander Veltar found himself genuinely impressed by human curiosity and friendliness. "Commander," Dr. Park Soo-jin asked, "may I inquire about your reasons for observing our planet?" "Of course," Commander Veltar replied. "The Galactic Council has protocols for contacting new spacefaring species. We observed your civilization for several weeks before deciding you were ready for first contact." Kim Dae-ho looked curious. "What did you think of us during your observations?" Commander Veltar exchanged glances with Dr. Crix. This was the moment they had been dreading. "We made some initial misinterpretations of your behavior," Commander Veltar said carefully. Our first reports to the Galactic Council may have overstated certain aspects of human capabilities. What kind of misinterpretations? Dr. Nam, Hyojung asked from the command center. Dr. Tessara decided honesty was the best approach. We observed humans interacting peacefully with your planet's apex predators, and we initially interpreted this as evidence of psychological dominance. Abilities. Dr. Park Soo-jin looked confused. Psychological dominance. You mean like mind control? Something like that, yes, Dr. Crix admitted. When we saw Ranger Kim face that bear without fear, and when the bear retreated, we assumed humans had some kind of mental power over predators. Kim Dae-ho started laughing. You thought I controlled the bear's mind? I was just being respectful. Bears are dangerous, but they usually avoid conflict if you don't threaten them. The translation of human. Laughter seemed to confuse the aliens until Dr. Tissera explained it was a sound of amusement, not aggression. So you do not have mental dominance abilities? Commander Veltar asked. Not at all, Dr. Park Soo-jin replied. We survive by understanding animal behavior and showing respect for other species. We share this planet with many dangerous creatures, so we learn to coexist rather than fight. Dr. Crix looked increasingly worried. Commander, if humans are not predator dominators, then the Galactic Council has been given completely incorrect information about their threat level. What kind of threat level? Colonel Shin Woo-sok asked through the communication link. Commander Veltar realized there was no way to avoid explaining the full situation. Several military organizations in our galaxy are currently responding to reports that humans are dangerous apex predator specialists. A Corvan war fleet is approaching your system, expecting to recruit you as warriors. Dr. Nam Hyojung felt her blood run cold. Warriors? They think we are a warrior species? The Hurani Collective is also preparing defensive measures, Dr. Thaisara added. They believe humans might use psychological powers against sapient species. Dr. Park Soo-jin looked around at her colleagues. Commander Veltar, we need to correct these misunderstandings immediately. How long do we have? The Corvan fleet will arrive in 5 hours, Commander Veltar replied. The Hurani response will take longer, but they are already mobilizing. Kim Dae-ho stepped forward. What can we do to help fix this? Commander Veltar was amazed by the human response. Even faced with the news that alien war fleets were approaching their planet, their first instinct was to help solve the problem, rather than prepare for battle. We need to demonstrate actual human behavior to the Galactic Council, Dr. Thaisara suggested. Show them what your species is really like. How do we do that? Dr. Park Soo-jin asked. Dr. Crix had an idea. The original misunderstanding started with the bear encounter. Perhaps we could recreate that situation and broadcast the truth to the galaxy. Kim Dae-ho grinned. I know exactly where that bear likes to spend his afternoons. 2 hours later, the most unusual diplomatic mission in galactic history was underway. Kim Dae-ho led the mixed group of humans and aliens through the forest trails, heading toward the area where wildlife tracking indicated the bear was currently foraging. Journalist Kang Yu-na documented everything with her camera crew, while Dr. Park Soo-jin maintained communication links with governments around the world. The entire planet was watching as humanity prepared to demonstrate its true nature to the galaxy. There, Kim Dae-ho said quietly, pointing through the trees. He is feeding near that stream. The same bear that had started the galactic misunderstanding was peacefully eating berries from bushes along a small creek. He looked exactly as massive and potentially dangerous as before. Commander Veltar, Kim Dae-ho said, I want you to watch carefully. This is how humans actually interact with apex predators. The aliens watched as Kim Dae-ho approached the bear, using the same calm, respectful techniques as before. But this time, Dr. Thisara's corrected translation protocols captured every word. Hello again, friend, Kim Dae-ho said softly to the bear. I brought some visitors to meet you. We will keep our distance and not bother your meal." The bear looked up at the unusual group of humans and aliens. After a moment of consideration, it went back to eating berries, occasionally glancing their way but showing no signs of aggression. "You see," Kim Dae-ho explained to Commander Veltar, "he knows we are not a threat because we respect his space and his needs. No mind control, no dominance, just mutual understanding." Dr. Thaisara was broadcasting the encounter live to the Galactic Council. For the first time, alien civilizations were seeing the truth about humanity's relationship with their planets. Wildlife. Commander Veltar watched in amazement as Kim Dae-ho continued explaining bear behavior to the group. "Ranger Kim, your knowledge of this creature's psychology is remarkable." "It comes from years of study and observation," Kim Dae-ho replied. "We have learned that most conflicts with dangerous animals can be avoided through understanding and respect." The broadcast was having immediate effects across the galaxy. On the Corvan flagship, General Korvax was revising his mission parameters. "Change course, standard diplomatic approach," he ordered his fleet. "These humans are